You are listening to Tech Vibe Pittsburgh. This is your front row seat to Pittsburgh's innovation and technology ecosystem, and I love giving you a front row seat to it. And I'm Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council, and today I'm just so excited because we're officially just going into full mode around all things with the new direct flight via Aer Lingus to Ireland, to Dublin, which is just massive. As you know, at the Pittsburgh Tech Council, we are all about making travel seamless, easy, and frictionless for business to happen here in Pittsburgh. And today I'm talking to Bill Byrne. He's Senior Vice President of Global Sales at Aer Lingus. And Bill, as you can see, I'm very stoked. I think the whole region is very stoked about this great flight that we cannot wait to be taking advantage of.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're stoked about it too. We're very excited about the opportunity. This route has been looked at for at least 10 years.
Wow.
Finally coming into fruition. Interesting enough, it was in consideration long ago because of the tech community. And the tech community that's in Ireland, tech community that's in Pittsburgh, and the mutual investment and tech around biomed and medical science and healthcare research. So the whole educational community around both tech and medical, that travel has been there. The problem that we had is, when do we get the right airplane that can serve the market efficiently?
Oh, okay, interesting.
And then how the market develops in terms of leisure travel. So interesting enough, sometimes you start a route because you have the right kind of leisure travel. Sometimes you start a route because you have the right kind of business travel and hope to get the leisure travel. This was definitely tech business known. We just needed to fill out the airplane with leisure travelers. Finally, we got the right kind of plane. It's going to be an A321 LR long range.
Nice.
So it's a single aisle, brand new, and that's the right plane for this market. And so now we got the right plane into the right market to do great things between.
We can't wait to break it in. Absolutely. This is just very exciting. And I'm really glad you were forward on the whole tech side of this thing, because you're so correct. The number of tech connections are huge between Ireland and Pittsburgh. Then you also look at the fact that when you do land in Dublin, that it's a gateway then to other parts of Europe where we also do business. So it creates that other option. If you're looking to get to other parts of Europe, you can take this flight as well too, which I think is great. Yeah. And I think you'd be remiss if you didn't at least hang out for a couple of days in Dublin before you would get another plane.
Yeah, you could do both now. So
exactly.
So the timing on this flight is really super perfect to connecting or staying in Ireland. So it's going to leave Pittsburgh at 8:40, arrive in Dublin at 8:40, which is not too early in the morning, but early enough in the morning to make connections to all the major cities.
Right.
Every city in the UK, from London to Manchester to Glasgow to Edinburgh, but even to Bristol or Leeds, Bradford, or whatever cities that somebody might be doing business there. But then connections to Paris and Amsterdam and Barcelona, Madrid, Rome, Milan, etc. So we cover the whole European landscape in a kind of easy fashion. Departs Dublin at 4:10, which is late enough in the day. So if anybody's trying to get in some last bit of work or connect from another city in Europe, you can do that.
You can get to the flight.
And even though it's leaving a little later, it arrives back in Pittsburgh at 7:10. So you're going to be home to have a nightcap or tuck the kids into bed if you have children. So it really is the most ideal. It's the most ideal set of slots and departure and arrival times that we could offer.
I'm telling you, it doesn't get any better than this. The fact that you're able to do that, and especially on a new plane like this, that's just optimized for this route. The other thing that I think is crazy cool is the fact that I believe there's a system where if you're leaving Dublin coming to Pittsburgh, you're pre-cleared. Tell me more about that, because once again, that saves you so much time when you're coming back to the States.
Yeah, it's all about time. So I think the one thing that maybe many of your listeners don't know is Ireland has supported customs and pre-clearance from the U.S. government in Ireland for 15 or 20 years. So what happens when you arrive in Dublin, whether you're connecting or you're departing Dublin directly, you're going to go through, once you go through your first level of screening, which is the normal metal detectors, you almost immediately then you'll walk through the gift shops and all that. So they'll hit you.
You got to do that. That's the best part of it. Come on.
Yeah, but after you do that, you'll immediately go to the customs and pre-clearance area, which is you clear U.S. immigration and customs in Ireland. So technically, once you go through that, you'll meet an American customs agent. They'll take a look at your passport. They'll take a look at your luggage, and then you go through. And once you pass through there, technically you're in the U.S.
That's
So
awesome.
when you arrive in Pittsburgh, it'll be like arriving a domestic flight.
So cool.
Get off and you walk straight to the curb, or go down the luggage claim to pick up your luggage and check your bag.
That is
I've
such a
timed it,
factor.
even with
Yeah.
I've timed it even with luggage. It is absolutely less. It's about 15 minutes from the time you get off the plane to the time you're out front looking for an Uber or waiting for someone.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's not going to happen in any other place. So you're not going to go through immigration at all in Pittsburgh. So all that immigration is going to happen.
And think about
But
that
it even gets better.
after a long day, though, the idea that you can just roll right through and not have that last hurdle to cross, it just makes it so much more seamless. But keep going. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So so time is critical, and time is what you save here. But it's also a certain level of predictability.
Okay.
So when you leave, it's not like you have to gear up for leaving for an international flight. If any of your listeners are enrolled in TSA PreCheck, all that is handled. When we participate in that program too, so you can go through any expedited screening if you pay for it. It's almost like leaving on a domestic flight. Because given how quick and easy it is to transit inside the Pittsburgh airport, I'm talking to you right now from the airport. I'm in the epicenter, but it is absolutely the quickest trip out to any of the gates. And so we'll be at one of I think it's going to be an international gate close on it, but we've brought it. Sure. But it's going to take you a short amount of time to get there. So it'll be almost like taking a trip to Detroit or New York. It's going to be that close. It's not like you're going to have to arrive at the airport 3 hours ahead.
Even better, yeah.
And on the return, the same thing on the return. So Dublin's a very convenient airport to go through. And so you don't have to arrive at the airport 3 hours ahead of time. Now, if you want to shop and all that, sometimes it's going to be predictable in terms of line waits and how convenient it is. And the experience on board will be predictable. So we just announced a program with Starlink. So eventually our first aircraft will be. So we'll have free Starlink Wi-Fi on board all our aircraft. I think it'll take through early part of 27 to have it done.
Perfect.
So you have Wi-Fi on board. You'll know it's going to work.
Yes.
And I'm sure your listeners have tried it, because some carriers have their stuff up and running with Starlink. It's very fast. It's very predictable. There's no in-route outages. And so you're going to have it. And so the whole experience of the A321 is one of the newest airlines in the newest aircraft in any transatlantic fleet. Most air carriers are trying to get in line to get them. We're one of the large customers for them, so we have them. And they're super quiet, much quieter than other airlines. Not disturbingly quiet, but super quiet. And then the fuel burn is half of what it was on some of the older airplanes. So
wow.
It's a lot more environmental friendly.
So many things to love here.
Aircraft.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Latest in aircraft technology, the latest in Wi-Fi technology, and an airport that is super modern and ready for the next part of the century.
Exactly right.
Like it was before. It's really, the whole experience is going to be a lot different than what normally Pittsburghers would have. You don't have to transit in JFK or Philadelphia.
Just get around the
other
plane and
thing
get
too
there.
The Dublin airport is actually very convenient, short walks, easy to get around. So connecting to Dublin is actually fairly seamless, short, easy, and everybody's friendly. I think if anybody tries this out, I hope you do, you'll find the cabin crew on our aircraft are unparalleled in the industry. I've been doing this a long time. Our flight attendants are just
amazing stuff. I think this is definitely worth the 10-year wait, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think everything just lined up for it. Like you said, we've got the right plane, we got the right type of traffic, the new airport terminal, everything going on with the affiliate. You can put great Wi-Fi on your planes. There's just so much going on here to make this an amazing flight for business. And real fast, the idea is so many of our listeners here not only travel for business, but they also love going to Europe, of course, for pleasure and having some fun. And I think what a great way to get to Ireland. There's so many people here that have deep Irish connections, without a doubt. And so having this flight just makes it great to get over there and just be part of it all.
Oh yeah. I think any listener that has been to Ireland, you got to go. It's the easiest transition into Europe that you could have. Everybody speaks English. The food and culture is something that people would be somewhat familiar with, because it permeates all throughout the U.S., especially in Pittsburgh. And so I think you'll find that it's friendly, it's at home. And then if you're interested in the outdoors, like most Pittsburghers are, There's great beaches, great golf, great hiking. There's mountains, there's valleys, there's great rivers, there's kayaking, rowing, or hiking, or cycling. They got great, so the experience.
It is very exciting, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time to tell me more about it, tell our listeners about it, because this is something we want this to be successful. We know it's going to be successful. It's just fitting the bill at the right time. So, Bill, you
Yeah, I
are
think
the
so
best.
too. And one thing just to leave you guys with, once we start joining the market, fares will be very affordable. So I encourage all your listeners to download the app. You have a great app. We have our lowest prices on the app or online if they want to do it online. And we keep our prices low and competitive with just about anybody. So
Fantastic.
value
And when
for money, which is very.
and when does the inaugural flight take place?
May 25th. It's the Monday of Memorial Day. The flight is almost full, so we'll be operating 4 days a week, and we're looking forward to a strong start. So we always take a little bit of brief pause in January and February because we do a lot of maintenance on our aircraft, and the interest in going to Europe is fairly low at that time. So we rotate some of our planes in for annual maintenance, but we're looking to ramp this up to daily.
Perfect. I am so excited. Our listeners are very excited. And in case you forgot, this is Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council and, of course, Tech 5, bringing you stories just like this each and every day. Once again, Bill, you are the best. Thanks for being part of it.
Thanks, Jonathan. Great to be here, and thanks for having me.